a day, a month, a year. We treat them like facts of nature. But the calendar on your wall is one of the longest-running engineering projects in human history. This is how we invented time. Before clocks, before calendars, there were 3 clocks in the sky that everyone could see. The first was the sun. It rose, it set, it rose again, and that gave us the day. The second was the moon, swelling from a sliver to a full disk and back, roughly every 29.5 days. That gave us the month. And the third was the sun's slow march through the seasons, returning every 365 days or so. That gave us the year. The trouble is, these 3 clocks don't agree with each other. And almost the entire history of the calendar is humanity trying to force them to line up. Start with the day. Splitting it up was the work of the ancient Egyptians. By day, they read the shadow of a sundial. By night, they track the rising of the stars. They divided the daylight into 12 parts, and the night into 12 more. That is why, 4,000 years later, we still have 24 hours. But these hours were not like ours, they stretched and shrank with the seasons. A daylight hour in summer was long, in winter, it was short. Fixed, equal hours only arrived much later, with mechanical clocks. The clock, in a sense, set us free from the sky. Now look closer, at the minutes and the seconds. Why 60? Blame the Babylonians. They counted not in tens, but in 60s. And 60 is a wonderfully convenient number. It divides evenly by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and many more. So an hour became 60 minutes, and a minute became 60 seconds. A piece of Bronze Age arithmetic, still ticking on your wrist today. Next, the month. The moon is the easiest calendar in the sky. Anyone can read its phase at a glance, so most early calendars were lunar. But 12 lunar months come to about 354 days. That is 11 days short of the solar year. 11 days may not sound like much, but let it run. After only 3 years, the calendar has drifted by over a month. Keep going, and a festival fixed in the calendar drifts right through the seasons. A lunar calendar simply will not stay in step with the seasons. So civilizations cheated. They kept the lunar months. But every few years, they jammed in a whole extra month. A leap month, to drag the calendar back into line with the sun. It works, but it is clumsy. Some years have 12 months, some 13. Other cultures gave up on the moon entirely. The Egyptians ran a flat 365-day year. 12 months of 30 days, plus 5 sped days on the end. Simple, but still not quite right, as we will see. Which brings us to Rome, and a glorious mess. The early Roman calendar was a lunar tangle that needed constant patching. The priests in charge of adding months had begun to abuse the job. They stretched years to keep allies in power, and shortened them to rush enemies out. By the time of Julius Caesar, the calendar was 3 months out of step. So in 46 BC, Caesar called in the astronomer Sosigenes, and started again. They built a solar calendar of 365 days. With 1 extra day every 4th year, the leap year was born. To reset the drift, that 1 year was stretched to 445 days. They called it the last year of confusion. But the Julian calendar carried a tiny flaw. Its year was 11 minutes longer than the real solar year. 11 minutes a year, that is all, but the calendar never forgets. Those minutes add up to a full day every 128 years. By the 1500s, the calendar had drifted 10 days from the sun, and the church had a problem, because Easter depends on the spring equinox. So in 1582, Pope Gregory XIII issued a fix. First, he simply deleted 10 days from the calendar. Thursday the 4th of October was followed by Friday the 15th. Second, a smart leap rule for century years, to stop the drift returning. It is so accurate it will not lose a day for thousands of years. Britain held out until 1752, and had to drop 11 days. While the calendar settled down, the clock raced ahead. The pendulum, in the 1600s, suddenly made minutes reliable. By the 20th century, Vibrating quartz made seconds cheap and everywhere. It is the technology inside almost every watch and phone today. And then we went deeper still. In 1967, we stopped using the spinning Earth altogether. Because the Earth is a slightly unreliable clock, it wobbles and slowly slows. Instead, 1 second became billions of beats of a cesium atom. Time was no longer read from the heavens, it was measured in the lab. One last problem: everybody's noon was different. When the sun stood over London and over Bristol, their clocks disagreed. That was fine, until railways and telegraphs stitched the world together. Suddenly, everyone had to agree on the time. So the globe was sliced into time zones. And in 1884, the nations chose Greenwich as the starting line. From there, all longitude and all time would be measured. Today a single standard, coordinated universal time, is kept by atomic clocks. And now and then, a leap second is slipped in, to match the wobbling Earth. So the next time you glance at a date, remember what it really is. Egyptian hours, Babylonian minutes, a Roman year, a Pope's correction, and the heartbeat of an atom. All laid on top of 3 ancient clocks that never quite agreed. We did not discover time, we built it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.